When Israel launches that big war, and it witnesses a dramatic expansion of the territory of the state of Israel, and of course you can now get rid of the Palestinians, send them to Iraq, send them anywhere you want, export them. And the United States economy collapses because of an attack on the US dollar. At this time, Israel now becomes the ruling state of the world. My assessment, I think that is coming within the next 5 years or so. When Israel becomes the ruling state in the world, then Dajjal, the false Messiah, will now be in a day which is like a week. And so Israel is going to rule the world for a much shorter period of time than the United States, and a much shorter period of time than Britain ruled the world. It is at this time that real oppression of the followers of Muhammad ﷺ will really take place. What we are now experiencing is an introduction to oppression. The Prophet said, he said that a man would pass by a grave and roll over the grave and would say, I wish I were in the grave rather than the dead man. Not because of religious reasons, but because of relentless oppression. When a day which is like a week comes to an end, which will be perhaps, 25, 30 years, then the false Messiah will now enter into a day which is like our day. So now he'll be in our dimension of time. So now we will see him as the ruler of the state of Israel, ruling the world from Jerusalem. It is at this time that the water in the Sea of Galilee will have dried up. How low is the water level now? Tomorrow I'll tell you. Inshallah. The Prophet said, Allah's blessings be upon him, that a Muslim ruler will die. Couldn't have been Hafiz al-Assad because he's already dead. And when this Muslim ruler dies, there will be dissension concerning succession. And then a man will come out of Medina and hurry to Mecca. And the people of Mecca will come out to him to urge him and force him to accept the pledge of allegiance or the bay'ah. He said, this man would have my name and his father's name would be my father's name. He would have a broad forehead and a large nose, and he'd be known as Al-Mahdi, Imamul Mahdi. In order for the people of Mecca to come out to him, he has to be a well-known person. Mecca has always been a Sunni city. Mecca has never been a Shia city. And so it is impossible for us to hold the view that the Mahdi, when he comes to Mecca, would be a Shia personality. Mecca would not accept a Shia as their Amir or Imam or Khalifa. When the Mahdi accepts the bay'ah, then he's attacked by an army from Sham, Syria. The Prophet said that when an army crosses Medina going down south to Mecca, the earth is going to open and swallow that army. This is one of the 10 major signs of the last day. When that happens, then you can no longer deny this is the Mahdi. We will now wait to see what Iran does. Those who accept him as the Mahdi are our brothers. Those who do not are not our brothers. Then he's going to be attacked by an army from Arabia, said the Prophet ﷺ. An army of the Quraysh of the Kalb. And army is, of course, under the control of government. He will defeat that army. And when he defeats that army, then the Arabian Peninsula would have been liberated and Darul Islam would have been restored. When Darul Islam is restored, it means that Allah's sovereignty is now recognized. Allah's authority is recognized as the supreme authority, not the Charter of the United Nations Organization. Allah's law is now recognized as the supreme law, not resolutions of the Security Council. And so Darul Islam has been restored. Islam is now re-emerging as a potent force in the world. That's around the corner. It's coming. This constitutes the most potent of all threats to the state of Israel. When the Islamic revolution comes to Arabia, the heartland of Islam. And so Dajjal has to do something. And so he attacks the Mahdi. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, he's not going to be using tanks for his attack. The Prophet said he's going to come from the east. He pointed his fingers to the east 20 times. He's going to attack from the east. How will he attack? Dajjal is going to ride on a donkey. The donkey will travel as fast as the clouds. The donkey will have his ears stretched out wide. I traveled on that donkey to go to Hong Kong last week. So, you're talking about fighter aircraft, big aerial warfare. Dajjal is strong in the air. He has command of the skies. He has his fighter aircraft. He has his helicopter gunships and so on. But when Dajjal attacks, the angels will defend Makkah and Medina, and Sahih Muslim says that the attack will be diverted to Damascus. And then the Prophet ﷺ has described in some detail what is now going to happen. It is reminiscent of what happened over there by the Red Sea. When Moses alayhi salam and Banu Israel, it would seem were cornered. No way out. They were between the devil and the deep blue sea, remember? And at the last moment Allah intervened. Similarly, history repeats itself one more time. When the whole world believes that Islam is a spent force, when the whole world believes that the moment has come finally and at last to finish with Islam, it is at this moment. Dajjal is outside the masjid, says the Prophet ﷺ, followed by 70,000 Jews from Isfahan, which means that the state of Israel, power in the state of Israel will move from the European Jews to the Jews of the Arab world. That transfer of power has already started. Dajjal is outside, followed by 70,000 Jews from Isfahan wearing the Jewish shorts. And the Imam is inside the masjid, and the masjid is barricaded because Israel has invaded Syria. It's at this time when the Salat is about to take place, this last moment that Allah intervenes. And the true Messiah comes down with his hands resting on the wings of two angels. And Jesus comes down in the masjid. And when the Imam sees the son of Mary, he will say what John the Baptist said before. History repeats itself. He will say, here he is, this is the son of Mary. Positive identification. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, heard about him? He said, I am the fulfillment of that prophecy about the return of the true Messiah.